Welcome back, everyone. So, chair yoga. I like it. It's a great way to come deeper into your practice. And I think it's something that has some not so good, I wouldn't want to say negative connotations, but people sometimes think it's very easy, or it's for people that are disabled or people that have serious injuries. And I say yes, that is true. But chair yoga is also a really good way to come into some nice deep stretches, because while you're coming into some deeper places in your postures, it allows a little less activation of certain muscle groups and more activation of others. So again, as we come into our yoga practice, we start with a very small amount of tools, and as you increase your yoga knowledge and your awareness and come into classes, you start to realize how important props are, because they really are a nice way to reflect upon your body, your poses, and just get a whole different experience for your yoga. So we're going to work with a chair today. So if I haven't already said so, welcome. I'm Angie. I'm with Harmony Yoga, and today we are doing the chair. So we are hitting the chair today. So for your practice, ideally, if you have a folding chair, you can use any chair, but a folding chair is really ideal for this. Again, something that has some sturdy feet so that you're not sliding around on your surface. So you can even place it on your yoga mat, and that will help with a lot of that movement of the chair. So making sure you have a stable chair that you're working with. Another nice thing to have are either some blocks, maybe having Tupperware or some books to elevate. And I have a really amazing friend and fellow yogi that is a good student of mine, and she said that she didn't like the chair the first time she took the class because her feet didn't hit the floor. So if you're one of those people that are a little shorter in stature and you try chair practice and your feet don't make it all the way to the floor, you can go ahead and bring the floor up to you. So that's another really cool thing about props, is if your body doesn't reach certain areas in your poses, you bring the earth up to you. So using those props to really get deeper into your practice. So having those things if you need them. And we're just going to go ahead and start. So actually just starting our practice actually right in our chair. So go ahead and take a moment here. You can kind of wiggle through the feet, you can wiggle through the fingers, and then a different way to start a practice, but not a bad way to start a practice. Go ahead and allow that residual energy to move out of the fingers and out of the toes, and then you can begin to take a few shoulder rolls back and down. And begin to rotate through the head and neck. Sure to move in both directions, and just letting that ebb and flow naturally move through the body. Go ahead and bring this to stillness, and we'll allow the elbows to rest underneath the shoulders. The palms can be up or down, so just find that placement that feels right to you today. And then we're going to begin to have the back with some support, so leaning your back into your back support. And then sit nice and tall in the spine. So inhale to lengthen long, and as you exhale, begin to root into your support, so coming into a state of stillness. And then once you're there, begin to allow the eyes to soften and close. Begin to close off outside distractions and draw your awareness inward. As you draw your awareness inward, begin to observe how your breath is moving through your body at this moment. Not changing your breathing practice, just observing the breath as it begins to ebb and flow through the body. And as you find that connection with breath, begin to allow the breath to slow and deepen. Let it drop a little deeper into the base of the lungs. And as this happens naturally, feel the expansion of breath from side to side, front to back, and top to bottom as you draw the breath upward, maybe reaching the heart space. Pausing here, and audibly or silently release the breath, let it go. Again, we allow the breath to drop a little deeper into the base of the lungs, expanding the lungs from side to side, front to back, and top to bottom. And as you continue to breathe, drawing the breath up through the spine, maybe reaching the base of the throat. Again, pausing for a bit of breath retention, and audibly or silently release the breath, let it go. We're going to move through a few more rounds of this deeper belly breathing. And why do we belly breathe? Belly breathing is really good at dropping us into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our body's way to rest and digest. So if you're breathing in the upper chambers of the chest, you move yourself into sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight. So by moving us into the rest and digest, relaxing the mind, relaxing the body, and relaxing the muscles, letting the breath move easily in and out of the body, and just feeling overall less rigid and more supple, more flexible. I'm going to take a couple more rounds of breath here. And then on your next inhale, begin to bring palm to palm compression to heart space. Bow the chin to the heart as you honor your practice, this time you created for yourself. And if you'd like to set an intention for this practice, for your day, for the weekend, now's an opportunity to do this. And an intention is anything meaningful to you that allows your mind to focus, something you could always come back to if for any reason throughout your practice your mind begins to wander. So coming right back to the breath, right back to your intention. We'll take one more breath at heart space, drawing in the power and the positivity of your attention. Let it fill every cell, every organ, every tissue. And as you release the breath, sharing that same level of positivity with the world. So we draw in the positive and we share the positive. We'll take one more breath here. And as you inhale, begin to bring the chin to heart space. From the heart space back to center. Keep the palm to palm compression. We'll inhale, draw the hands up through the midline. And as you exhale, begin to celebrate the beginning of a beautiful practice, a beautiful day. And we'll take one more here. And release right to the side. We're going to go ahead and move through the head, neck, and shoulders just a bit. We'll inhale to lengthen long. And as you exhale, bring your gaze to the right. Inhale brings us back to center. As you exhale, bring your gaze to the left. Inhale brings us back to center, bringing your gaze up. And as you exhale, keep the spine long, chin draws toward the chest. Inhale comes to center. As you exhale, bring your gaze to the right. Inhale brings us back to center. As you exhale, look to the left. Inhale brings us back to center, bringing your gaze up. And as you exhale, draw the chin toward the chest. This time, go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back of the head and draw the chin naturally toward the chest, putting just a little bit more openness along the back line of the neck. Mindfully release. We'll inhale, go ahead and bring the chin back to center. We're going to keep those shoulders rolling back and down. We're going to drop the right shoulder to the right ear to the right shoulder. So don't bring the shoulder up, keep it dropping down, and then we're going to continue to rotate the chin toward the chest. We're going to roll right back over to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. And roll all the way back and bring the chin back down. We come back, bringing the hands back behind the back of the head, tucking the chin toward the chest, spine stays long. And release. And we're going to go ahead and begin to come into a really nice twist here. So we're going to go ahead and begin to bring our bodies to the right side of the chair. Knee to ankle alignment, so coming into about a 90-degree bend with the legs. And you're going to slide your tailbone closer toward the edge of the chair. We're going to inhale, lengthen long. And as you exhale, begin to twist toward the back of the chair. Now you place your hands lightly on the chair. This will help to facilitate a little deeper twist if you want more of that deep abdominal twisting. And abdominal twisting is really good at moving blood through the body, puts light compression on the organs, specifically the kidneys and the liver, moving waste out of the body. So stimulating those organs and helping them to work more efficiently. We're going to breathe one more time here, really feel that nice depth of the stretch, coming into that twist. And then inhale to go ahead and bring it back to center. We're going to cross now the top leg over the bottom. So if I'm mirroring, I guess it would be left leg over right. We'll inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, again, twist toward the back of your chair. Inhale, creating space, and exhale, creating that beautiful depth. One more breath here. Mindfully uncross. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center, and we'll move to the other side. So bringing the sit bones right to the edge of the chair, spine stays nice and long. Coming into that 90-degree bend with the legs, tailbone root, spine lengthens. Inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, twist toward the back of your chair. Have a light grip on the back of the chair and help it to move you deeper into this twist. Shoulders are rolling back and down. Spine lengthens. One more breath here. And then go ahead and bring it back to center. This time crossing the right leg over the left. Inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, twist toward the back of your chair. Inhale brings us back to center. We come right back to the front of our chair. We're going to take the legs out nice and wide and Have some props or some elevation if you need to. And we're just going to take the feet as wide as you feel comfortable. We're going to press evenly between the ball and the heel, really getting some nice activation in the back side of the leg. And breathe. You want to take this into a little bit more. You can begin to bring your hands down to your supports, keeping the spine long. Inhale brings us back to center, and we drop both knees to center. And we're going to come into a chair variation of reclined pigeon. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. And just take a moment here. Allow that knee to fall out to the side. The right hip begins to externally rotate, creating a little bit of openness in the hip. Go ahead and take your fingers, the web fingers, and then interlace them between the toes. And sometimes this can be quite a trick in itself. And then I want you to have some good firm hold of that foot, and then just go ahead and begin to rotate in both directions. And then moving into flexion by drawing the toes toward the body and away. We're going to go ahead and come back to stillness. We're going to take this into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, fold the torso over the bent leg. Take this as deep as you need to. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. We bring it right back to center and uncross. We this time crossing the left leg over the right, and just noticing the differences from side to side. I feel like I'm a little bit more stiff on this side. Allow this time the left knee to fall out to the side, and we'll pause here, just allowing this to naturally happen in the body. Go ahead and find that nice wide space in between the fingers and reach it in between the toes. And again, sometimes that takes time to find that webbing. And then we're going to rotate through the ankle, both clockwise and counterclockwise. So move through this a couple of times. And then begin to draw the toes toward the body and away, coming into some flexion. Go ahead and bring it to stillness. We sit nice and tall in the spine. Inhale as you exhale, come forward. Come as deep as you need to. Maybe bringing the hands all the way down to the floor if you need more depth in this pose. So really getting that nice opening the hip as much as you need to. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. We bring it right back to center. We'll go ahead and take this into Utkatasana, chair in a chair. So a nice variation, because while the chair is supporting the sit bones, you have the availability to move deeper without trying to support your entire body weight. So go ahead and bring your sit bones all the way to the end of the chair, and we'll cross the right leg over the left. Now you can certainly place the sole of the foot on a block if you need to, or if you're a little bit more flexible, you can tuck that toe behind the back calf. Try to align the knees as much as you're able. Good. And then we'll begin to bring the arms out to the side. We're going to move through a little internal and external rotation, just rotating through the shoulders. Good. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, begin to wrap the right arm under the left. And you can place your hands on your shoulders, or you can begin to bring the palms together. As you come into this space, you begin to lean forward slightly on your chair, aligning the elbows, the knees, and the feet all in one line. Shoulders are rolling back and down, spine stays neutral. If you want to add more depth to this, you begin to draw the fingertips closer toward the ceiling. You'll feel a deeper stretch across the shoulders. So taking that intensity as much as you need to. As you come into your practice, I want you to breathe into every part of this. So we breathe to create the space. As you inhale, you're creating space in the body. And as you release the breath, you allow yourself to settle into these deeper holds. So inhale, creating the space, and exhale, creating that depth. And this breathing practice is one to carry throughout your entire practice. And as we exhale, we'll draw the elbows toward the navel, and then we'll begin to round slightly toward the earth. Coming in just a little bit different variation. Inhale brings us back to center, right in that nice long line, elbows, knees, and toes. And mindfully release, arms draw up overhead. As you exhale, release right back down to heart space. We'll go ahead and uncross, and we'll just take a little bit of a moment here if you like. That felt pretty good. Extend those legs out, cracking the toe back over too. Just finding that movement. And we're going to go ahead and bring this into the second side. This time crossing the left leg over the right. Staying here, setting the foot on a block. We're tucking the toes behind the calves. Bring the arms out to the side, a little internal and external rotation as you rotate through the shoulders. We'll inhale the arms up overhead, and this time we'll wrap the left arm under the right, either placing the hands on the shoulders or drawing the palms together. Fingertips reach up toward the ceiling. Elbows, knees, and feet all in one line as much as you're able in a chair. Take a couple rounds of breath here. And then as you continue to breathe into the body, we're going to draw those fingertips closer up toward the ceiling. You'll feel a deeper stretch across the upper thoracic spine, maybe into the shoulders. So I want you to take this intensity as much as you need to today. So keep mindfully breathing into the body and keep drawing the fingertips closer toward the ceiling until you reach the depth that you need today. We'll take a couple more rounds of breath here. And as you exhale, draw the elbows toward the navel, round slightly over the body. Bring your gaze down. Inhale brings us back to center, and we release, drawing the arms up overhead. Palms come together, exhale, release, heart space, mindfully uncross. And we'll begin to come into just a little bit more movement here. We're going to go ahead and come to the right side of the chair. I want you to place your hands, one on each side of your right knee, and then we'll step back with the left leg. We'll take this into a crescent lunge. So as we come into a variation of crescent lunge, you need to find your chair just a bit. And you're looking for about a 90-degree bend with that front leg. The back leg is extending out from the hip, heel is raised, shoulders are rolling back and down, spine is long. And breathe. Now you can stay here, or if you want to begin to inhale the arms up overhead, taking a nice wide V, really pressing out to that back heel. Your body is supported, so you're really maybe here feeling the back line of leg just a little bit more than you normally would because we're supported with the chair. Still getting the same postural alignments, but just having a little different variation. You can even begin to bring your gaze upward. Begin to bring the palms together, and as you exhale, release right back down to the midline. We'll go ahead and release that back foot down. So we're having about a heel to arch alignment. We're coming into Virabhadrasana 2. Take the torso right in the midline. We'll extend out from fingertip to fingertip, and then begin to bring your gaze up along the front middle finger, extending out from finger to finger, from letting the shoulders melt down the back. So we're not drawing the shoulders up, but we're relaxing them down. And breathe. Flip the top arm up, reach forward, draw back, reverse warrior, opening up your heart. Inhale brings us back to center, pausing here. And then we'll begin to release the hands down. We'll come back into crescent lunge, and we'll go ahead and swing that leg back around. Come to the end of the chair. Inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, we'll come into another twist. Inhale brings us back to center and release. We'll go ahead and take the same movement to the other side. Coming to the end of the left side of your chair, pausing here. We're going to reach the hands in between, this time the left leg, stepping back with the right. And we come into a variation of crescent lunge. Shoulders are rolling back and down. Hands are rooted on either side of that front leg, pressing out through the back heel, really opening up through the back line of the leg. So in this posture, the chair is supporting the majority of our weight, so we really have an opportunity to press out to that back heel and really get that nice deep opening along the back line of the leg. Shoulders are rolling back and down, tail stays rooted. Stay here, begin to inhale the arms up overhead, taking a nice wide V. If you want to bring more of this, you begin to bring your gaze upward and breathe. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. Hands come down to the midline and we release. We're going to drop that back heel down, heel to arch alignment, coming into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 on the other side. Inhale the arms out to the side, extending out from fingertip to fingertip. Take a moment and make sure that the knee and the ankle are aligning. Knees tracking the second and third toe. And the chair is a really nice prop here to help keep that alignment of that front knee. Breathe in, breathe out. So maybe feeling a little more depth in this pose. So probably going a little bit deeper than you traditionally go in this pose. Look over the front middle finger, extending out, relax those shoulder blades. Reach out from fingertip to fingertip. Flip the top arm up, reach forward, draw back, reverse warrior, open your heart. Inhale brings us back to center. Bring both hands alongside that front knee, the front leg, and we come back into crescent lunge. Take a pause here, let your shoulders roll back and down. Go ahead and swing that back leg around. Coming into seated, we'll inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, twisting toward the back of the chair. Inhale brings us back to center, and we're going to move through a nice vinyasa flow with the chair. So maybe something that you've never considered before, but a really nice way to come into a vinyasa flow. So hopefully my head isn't completely cut off, but we'll work with that. So come to facing your chair on your mat. Let your shoulders roll back and down. Reach the fingertips toward the earth and allow the palms to rotate outward. Take a slight bend to the knees. Inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, heart space. From heart space, inhale up to the midline. As you exhale, release your hands to the chair, coming into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Keep your gaze down. Think of creating space between the crown and the tailbone. When you're ready, mindfully begin to step back, coming into plank pose. Take a pause here. Draw the sit bones up and back into down dog. And you might need to alter this just a bit. So in this pose, you're drawing the hips away from the body. Gaze is down. Shoulders are rolling back and down. It's imagine somebody grabbing onto your hips slightly and drawing you backward to really lengthen the spine. So getting some nice deep stretching here. Inhale, we come back into plank pose. And if you choose to move deeper, you can begin to come onto the tippy toes, roll forward, bend the elbows, and then scoop the chest through the gate of the shoulders, coming into upward facing dog, dropping to the top of the feet. Now this may not be part of your practice today. This might put more pressure on the wrist, but again, finding your own space. We'll take one more breath here, rolling on the toes, draw the sit bones up and back, down dog. Moment here. And when you're ready, mindfully step forward to meet your chair, coming back into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees, and inhale the arms up overhead. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale the hands up through the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step it back into downward facing dog. Imagine someone drawing your sit bones back. Really take advantage of this nice spine lengthening here. And then we'll begin to roll forward on the toes, coming into plank pose. From here, stay here, or bend the elbows, keep the arms close to the side, and then begin to draw the chest through the gate of the shoulders, dropping to the top of the feet. Inhale brings us back to center, rolling on the toes, drawing the sit bones back. We come back into down dog. And then mindfully stepping forward, coming into Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees, and inhale the arms up overhead. Palms come together, exhale, release, heart space. From heart space, inhale up to the midline. As you exhale, dive forward, come forward, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, step it back into down dog. Draw the sit bones away from the body. Extending nice and long, shoulders rolling back and down, roll forward on the toes, coming into plank, bend the elbows, close to the side, drop to the top of the feet, chest draws to the gate of the shoulders, bring your gaze upward as you're able. Roll on the toes, draw the sit bones up and back, down dog, and mindfully step forward toward your chair. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, deepen forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees, inhale the arms up overhead, palms come together, exhale, release, heart space. So those are just some of the fun things you can do with a chair. So maybe you can incorporate some of these different postures, maybe at work when you need a little time to stretch, to move, to kind of release from being in a seated posture for a period of time. Or maybe it's that you've had an injury and you have less mobility. So whatever your reason, maybe you just really like that nice deep aspect of coming into a different variation of some of those different postures. Go ahead and follow me on YouTube. I'll be having more of the chair series, some different postures, things that you can do to come into your own home practice. Now at the end of this practice today, you have the option just to come into another seated posture in the chair and just begin to come into your closure. Or if you want to do a variation of Viparita Karate, legs up the wall, you can actually take your chair, come onto your mat, flip one leg up and then the other, and just begin to bring your body into this. This feels pretty darn good right now. As you come into this space, whether you're seated in the chair or you've come down onto your mat and you've come into this position, allow the eyes to soften and close. Come back to the breath. Go ahead and place one hand on the abdomen and one hand on the heart, and we're going to follow our breath to close our practice. Allow the breath to move deeper into the base of the lungs. Draw the breath upward to the heart space, love, kindness, and compassion for ourselves and others. Audibly or silently release the breath, let it go. Again, dropping the breath a little deeper into the base of the lungs. Drawing the breath upward to the heart space, love, kindness, and compassion for ourselves and others. Audibly or silently release the breath. And do that a few more times with your own breath count. And then if you choose to release the arms to the side, let the shoulders gently roll back and down, the palms face upward. Coming into a moment of stillness. Breath and body move together. Deep relaxation of the mind, the muscles. And as you continue to move deeper and deeper and deeper into the space, know that you have arrived, Shavasana. You can stay here for as long as you need to. And know that this is a place you can revisit at any time. From my heart to yours, yogis. Namaste.